Hey, I'm Ali from Little Hill Homestead. I'm in the middle of making a large batch, medium-sized batch, of my whipped body butter, and so I thought I would show you guys how I do that. I have really bad eczema. I get it on my hands and feet. It's hereditary. My mom and my sister both have it as well. And if I use like commercial lotions or sunscreen or anything that has chemicals, I get eczema horribly bad, really itchy little blisters and stuff. I can't remember the kind of eczema. A lot of people call it like housewife or dish soap or something like that. A lot of people say it's from doing too many dishes and it strips your hands of the oil. I don't know if that's true, but either way, I make this body butter and it's really the only lotion that I use. It doesn't cause me to have any issues, flare-ups or breakouts or whatever you want to call it with eczema. I've given it to people that have kids as well, and it worked on babies too, and it's super neutral. There isn't a lot in it, and so it's something that I feel comfortable me using on my body, but also giving to people as well for their children. So if you guys want to find out how I make this, I already made one batch. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make it, but I wanted to show you, I threw the bag away. So I buy shea butter, raw shea butter. I buy it a pound at a time. I get it on Amazon. It's the most reasonable price. And you want to look for unrefined raw shea butter. I get the white one. It's just the least scented one. It still has a nutty smell to it, kind of a natural type of I don't know. It has a smell. Raw shea butter does. I originally tried to buy like commercial raw shea butter mixed lotions, and they too caused me to break out. So they have chemicals in them. Of course, everything does, right? So this is what worked for me, but I wanted to show you. So raw shea butter, this is what it usually looks like. It comes in a big hunk. It's really kind of like the texture of coconut oil. So when I make my whipped shea butter, see the texture difference? This is like foamy and like much easier to scoop out of the container. And of course I store it in mason jars because it's me. But I wanted to show you guys really quickly how we make it. So this one I purchased a pound block of it and I had ran out of this and I didn't have time to make the whipped version, so I just stuck some in a mason jar so that I had it to use. Now I have time to actually whip some up for you guys. So I'm going to scoop this out of the mason jar. It's a 1/4 pound of raw shea butter. If I can scoop it out of here. Like I said, this stuff it gets hard. And I already made a batch, so my hands are covered in it, so it's like slippery. But let's see if we can do this. So I've been doing this, I would say probably 15 or 16 years. I started doing it many years ago after reading a bunch on shea butter. And I thought, well, if this works for all these other people, I'm going to give it a whirl. And so for me, because I like to make everything from scratch, it was the easiest thing for me to make. Did a lot of research, figured out what does and doesn't work for me. And this is what I've come up with. A lot of people use vitamin E or coconut oil or almond oil or, just different oils added to this. I don't find that that is necessary. I should have scraped this out before I started this. Sorry, guys. So mine is going to be raw shea butter. Some people heat it up. I don't heat it up. I feel like that loses some of the properties if people get it too hot. So I don't heat it up. Oop. Okay, we're almost there. So I'm putting it in there. This is cold, room temperature shea butter. Like I said, 1/4 pound. About a 1/4 pound. I didn't measure it. Okay, the next thing we're gonna need, my hands are literally covered in this, so it's like trying to grasp straws with greasy hands. The next thing we're gonna need, let me get this whipped up just a tiny bit before I show you the next step. Okay, I'm gonna put into a 1/4 pound, 6 tablespoons of this is just cornstarch. You can use arrowroot as well. It just depends on what you've got on hand or what you're comfortable using. I put it on my skin. I'm not as worried about it. So I just use this Argo brand because I can get it for cheap. Or, I know that's just 2 tablespoons, you guys. I should have grabbed a tablespoon. So 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now I'm just going to turn this on. It wouldn't be me if I didn't make a mess of the mixer, right? I scrape down my sides just before I let it rip. So to get it really good and aerated, I am going to turn my mixer on and let it go for about 5 to 7 minutes. Kind of just eyeball it. The longer you whip it, the more air it gets in it, the better of a whipped body butter it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to let it rip. I'll bring you back in like 5 to 7 minutes as soon as I feel like the consistency is getting better. Okay, guys, you see the texture has completely changed. It's now like foamy and like whipped cream feeling. That's what we're going for. I'm going to bring you back over here and set you up. Hope I don't tip you guys over. So it's probably been 5 or 6 minutes since I turned it on. Now, you have a couple options at this point. And I should have said, I don't know if I said this or not, if I didn't. The reason we add cornstarch is because shea butter is really oily. It like leaves a slick oil layer on your skin. The cornstarch helps it not feel so oily. I totally spilled it all over myself. Don't even. So we add the cornstarch for that, and it has no reaction. At least on my skin, it's never had a reaction. So this is what I would just call like unscented shea butter. If you guys want to add any essential oils to it to give it a more pleasant scent, because like I said, shea butter is kind of just a very natural nutty smell, this is your chance to do that. And so I've done lemon lavender. My husband was in the hospital and we had some of this lotion with us, and I was using it on him, and the nurse said, oh my God, it smells like Fruit Loops in here. What is that? Or Fruity Pebbles, I think is what she said. But anyways, that was a lemon lavender. I just did like 15 drops of lemon and 15 drops of lavender. Today, let's see, I'm using one called Smiles for Miles. It's an uplifting brand by Now. I'm using that one today. Frankincense is another really good one to use on the skin. It has really good benefits. If you have like scars that you're trying to get rid of, you can add vitamin E. That helps heal scars. So just do a little bit of research on what essential oil you feel comfortable putting on your skin, because I know some are not necessarily the best to put on your skin. So like when I do citruses, I don't do a ton of drops of citrus because it is more harsh than like say frankincense or lavender or something like that. So kind of do a little research and use your best judgment on that. But I am going to add 20 to 25 drops of this lemon. This one has orange, bergamot, grapefruit, lime, lemon, cinnamon bark, nutmeg, ginger, and a little bit of vanilla extract. And it's kind of just a nice citrusy smell that I enjoy. But like I said, just do whatever you want to do. So I have it pretty much at the consistency I want it to be at. So that's 20 drops of our essential oil. I apologize. We have Etsy packages going out. And so the mailman is here to pick up the Etsy package. If you place an order, thank you, because this is what I get to deal with. The mailman has left the premises. Everything is back to normal. So I have our 20 drops of essential oil in here. I'm just going to turn it back on and get it incorporated into here. All right, that's good and incorporated. Let's see what we got, y'all. Try to get as much off of here as I can. Not using my hands because I washed them so they're not quite so slick. Okay, I keep mine, like I said earlier, in mason jars. So this one is the one that had the raw shea butter in it. It looks a little, not dirty. It looks a little cloudy because it had that in it, but it's fine. So here is our finished consistency. How it's like nice and puffy and like almost, it is like whipped cream. That's our whipped body butter. So the cornstarch that we added also helps it maintain this puffy consistency once you once you put it in the jars. So but mostly it's just to help it not feel so greasy on your hands. So I pack that in there, and there's our beautiful body butter. I have a second container. This has a little bit from a previous batch that I'm gonna put the rest of this in. And like I said, we've been doing this for years, and great on sunburns, but I find it to be the best thing for my hands. I just put it on at night before I go to bed or in the middle of the day. Actually, this little jar, sometimes I'll keep in my purse if I'm having some bad eczema issues. But this, I'm not saying will work for everybody. I'm just saying this works for me. And if you're not using it for eczema, it just feels awesome on the skin. It's just a great natural moisturizer. So there's our finished whipped body butter. Isn't it pretty? So I ended up getting 3 jars out of about half a pound of it. So $5 made me 3 jars. And like I said, I don't know if it was in this video. I filmed this a couple times. The local farmers market sells this size. They're about $8 to $10 a jar. We ended up getting 3 jars. So that'll be $30 for $5. So that's why I make my own. 1, I know what's in it, and 2, it's significantly cheaper. And with my mixer, some people are like, oh my gosh, you're putting shea butter and essential oils in your kitchen mixer that you eat out of. Yes, because I wash it with really, really, really hot water and lots of dish soap. And I feel like I get it really good and clean. You'll know if it's not clean because it's still going to be oily. So I go ahead and do that, and I feel comfortable using it for food later without any issues. So there you go. That is our whipped body butter, whipped shea butter recipe. If you guys give it a try, let me know what scent combinations you guys add into it. I'm always looking for fun new ones, or if you have an essential oil that you know is great for the skin. Geranium is one that I've read on. I don't really want to smell like geraniums, though. Roses. I'm just not one to smell like really strong flowers. So I try to pick neutral scents that go with other things that I'm wearing without issues. Anyways, enough rambling. I hope you guys go and make this, and if you do, let me know how it turns out. Appreciate you watching.